Hello everyone, this is Sam, and in today's video we're going to be having a look at the new legendary Greatsword, Exordium. It is scheduled to release on the 14th of May alongside the War Eternal Living Story patch. This legendary is the last one of the Generation 2 of the Guild Wars 2 legendaries to be released, and I think it is definitely holding up to the spot as the last one, as you will be able to see after the intro. This legendary appears to be rather basic at first look, but I think that the motif is rather intricate and does remind me of the Shining Blade. The color choice actually matches very well together, as orange and blue are opposite on the spectrum and as such do mesh really well in any sort of lighting situation. If you look at it, the color slightly changes depending on the angle, meaning that the legendary bears resemblance to Twilight and Sunrise, which were the previous generation of Greatswords. What separates this legendary from the rest, however, is something that we will see in the second part of the video: its ability to change appearance based on the skills you will be using. But before looking at this, we will be having a look at its drawing and teasing animation, and also at the footfalls. The drawing animation is rather simple and manifests as an explosion around the character. You then have some petals of light hovering around your arms, and when you sheath the weapon back, these explode all around you and dissipate into the air. Now for the footfall. The same petals as earlier can be found around your feet as you walk with the legendary. And now for the people who want to have some better impression of the sounds with the drawing animation and sheathing animation, you can listen to the video. Now, as promised, we will be having a look at what the animations end up being on every single skill of the 5 classes that can play Greatsword. The Ranger auto attack makes the sword grow some extra blades along its edge. Maul does the same as the auto attack and adds the extra blades on the side. The third skill on Ranger makes the Greatsword change into a hammer as the leap finishes. The fourth skill actually makes the Greatsword change into a shield. And finally, the last skill of Ranger makes the Greatsword grow an extra blade through its own handle. We are now on a Mesmer, which was the class that we saw revealed in the trailer. As such, you already know what the auto attack does with the weapon, transforming it into a rifle that shoots beams. The second skill of the Greatsword makes it change into some sort of a shuriken, as expected of a projectile. The third skill makes it grow extra blades along the edge. These blades differ from what we saw on the Ranger auto attack and almost look like wings of some sort. The fourth skill of Mesmer cannot be shown as it needs to be targeted, however, the last skill does change it into the same as the Ranger auto attack. Next up is gonna be the Reaper. We have already seen on one of the websites a picture of the Gravedigger on Reaper, which is the second skill of the Greatsword. However, we'll go through all of them in order. The auto attack on Reaper makes it grow the blades on the edge just like the Ranger auto attack. The second skill, Gravedigger, makes it change into a scythe. The third skill adds extra blade along the tip of the Greatsword. The fourth skill adds blades alongside the edge as you whirl around. It is about the same look as the third skill. And finally, the last skill of the Greatsword on Reaper does not have much of a change as it is also blades along the edge. You can still see the small shuriken effect because this is considered to have some projectile traveling animation at the start of it. We're now onto a warrior and I'm gonna be showing you the animation on that class. The auto attack is rather simple as it grows the blade along the edge, just like Ranger and Reaper did. However, where the Greatsword truly shines in my opinion is on 100 Blades, the second skill of the Greatsword on Warrior. This is, in my opinion, simply gorgeous and definitely one of the reasons why you should be working on that legendary as soon as possible. Using Whirlwind attack on the Greatsword actually makes it look like your Greatsword is transforming into some huge axe, but I will leave that to your own interpretation. Number 4 being a projectile, it is gonna do the usual shuriken animation. And it travels back to you. Finally, the rush animation. As you can see, nothing specific there, as it is mostly your movement. We are now onto the final class that needs to be shown, that is to say Guardian. The auto attack on Guardian does the same as on the other classes, the extra blade along the edge. The second skill, Whirling Wrath, does the same as the Warrior 3. I believe that this is a great axe, and if it is exactly what I think it is, then I am most pleased by it. The leap on the number 3 of the Greatsword actually does the same as the Ranger's, it becomes a hammer. Number 4 being planted into the ground will remind you of the Mesmer's number 3. The wings do pop up. And finally, the last Whirlwind is gonna give us the same axe animation as before. For the sake of completion, I am now gonna attack a target, so that we can see what the rush animation ends up being. I am personally under the impression that the end of the rush skill on the Greatsword actually does not have any specific animation beyond the blades along the edge. Now this covers all of the animations for this new amazing legendary, and I am pretty sure that I'm going to be getting it for myself. If you have liked it, please tell me in the comment section if you also plan on making it for your own or not. And now I wish every single one of you some happy crafting and to enjoy these new animations.